Hey, it's Ethan here at eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install these Pewag square link snow tire chains with cam tensioners on our 2022 Nissan Frontier. This is going to be on tire size 265, 65, 17. Make sure you check the fit guide at etrailer.com to find the right chains for your tire. Also, we have them on the rear axle as per the owner's manual. Always make sure you double check to make sure you're putting it on the right axle. But these are going to be kind of an in-between as far as aggressiveness goes. So if you live in an area that gets a decent amount of moderate weather, whether that's a decent amount of snow or some light ice, you want chains that are going to be able to get you through that. These are going to be a great option for you, so let's check it out. The chains have a ladder pattern, which means they go straight across the tire and run parallel to one another. It's going to be really helpful for starting and stopping, but it doesn't get you as much coverage, so it won't help quite as much on turns, and you're definitely going to feel these a little bit more while you're driving. The links are square. They're pretty large too, so they also have these built-in grooves. That combined with the square link shape is going to help get you that bite into the ice and snow that I mentioned before. And they're made of a nickel manganese alloy, so they're going to be really strong and hold up really well to rust, weather, and corrosion, especially a lot more than a low carbon steel chain would. On the front here, you can see that we have one of these cam tensioners. There are 3 in total. Basically, you just rotate them to get that initial fit and that initial tension into the tire chains, but they're only going to get that initial fit, so we do recommend picking up a rubber tensioner as well. The tensioner will just look like this. It's really easy to just grab here at eTrailer as well. We'll show you how to install that during the install section. The chains do come 2 to a set in this lightweight plastic bag. We don't necessarily love these bags. It's fine for the first time the chains arrive, but if you do get these chains, we'd recommend upgrading to something like a plastic tote, something a little larger, more robust to keep the chains in. Also, during the off season, you can keep them in there with some oil or some lubricant, something to keep the chains in good shape when you're not using them. But we do recommend upgrading pretty much regardless of how long you plan to use the chains. The install section of the chains isn't too bad. You do have to get down and around the back side to get that connection made. So we always recommend trying it out in your garage before you find yourself stranded on the side of the road trying to figure it out. You can check out how we did it right now. First thing we like to do when we get the chains out is to lay them out flat. We just want to make sure that nothing is caught up, tangled, twisted, or stuck to itself. We want to make sure that the cams are facing the right way, and this one is actually already turned, so we want to make sure that none of those have been turned prematurely. So make sure they're facing us, and we want to make sure the chains themselves are facing the right direction. To do that, we use these large hoops at the end of each set of links. We just want to make sure that we have this flat side facing down or towards the tread of the tire, rather than these pointed hooks on the other end. So the way we have them right now is the way we want them, so we'll get things centered up and load them onto our tire. I'm just going to grab towards the back here, right in the middle, where they connect, and I'll start draping them over the back. I just want to do the best I can to make sure everything is going to be equal side to side, as well as front to back. Again, probably just double checking at this point to make sure none of the cams have rotated on their own. Looks like we're good there. Back here, it's just a matter of fitting this hook into one of these loose links on the other side. So honestly, it looks like we're probably going to be okay at the furthest link, but I can come back and tighten those up later if I need to. For our connection on the front, just the same thing, fitting this hook into the loose link on the side. Just that first one is going to do for us, again, because we'll come back and tighten up all these cams, which will be our next step, using this provided lever tool. I'll actually start down here on the left side, just fit that in, and we'll rotate them counterclockwise. There's that one. Then we'll come up to the middle one. This one's pretty tight now, so I doubt we'll be able to get this last one, but we'll give it a shot. And that's pretty snug already, so I think we're just going to leave it at 2 right now. From here, they're technically installed, and we do have a good amount of tension with these cams, but if they do come undone or the chains shift around, you don't really have any secondary line of defense, so we recommend picking up one of these rubber tensioners. You'll just install it similar to how you would install a tire in sort of a star-shaped pattern, going from top to bottom and left to right, trying to spread them out as evenly as you can. Just again, because as we're bumping along ice and snow, the chains are going to shift, so you typically have to get out and check on them anyway. Again, this is just sort of a means to try to keep everything as secure as we can. After you get that tensioner installed, make sure you do the same thing on your passenger side tire as well. We always recommend rolling forward or backward a few feet just to make sure that everything is secure and in place. You should be ready to go. Like I mentioned, these chains are going to be kind of an in-between as far as aggressiveness goes. They're a larger square link chains. There are twist link chains, which get you a similar amount of bite, but they're going to be a little bit more low profile, so you're going to feel it a little bit less while you're driving. Or you can upgrade even more to a chain that has V-bar links. That's going to be for off-road purposes, but they're going to get you the most aggressive bite out of any chains that we offer. So again, these are kind of in the middle of that. If that's something that interests you, hits all the features and reasons you might need it that we talked about in the video, these are still a great option. This is just a quick look at the Pewag square link snow tire chains with the cam tensioners and how they fit on our 2022 Nissan Frontier.